Hey guys, Super Console Final Wars here. Today's gonna be a different video. I've been seeing a few people been mentioning about this a lot. And many people have their own theories, others just, yeah. If you're wondering, well, what's today's video? Well, as you guys can tell from the title, this is more like a battle video between Smaug, King Under the Mountain. Armor like iron, teeth like swords, claws like spears, tail like a thunderbolt, wings like a hurricane, and breath like death. Now, what would happen if he was in the How to Train Your Dragon universe? What would happen if Smaug met Toothless and decided to challenge him? Like I said before, many people have their own theories about this, and many people think that Toothless might win, Smaug might win, or it could be a tie. Now, I'm a huge Smaug fan. I've been in love with Smaug ever since I was a kid. I actually started loving this dragon, this character, ever since I saw the 1977 cartoon version of Smaug. Now, I'll admit, that version of Smaug was kind of weird. He looked more like a giant cat. He didn't look vicious enough. He didn't look like an actual dragon to me. To me, this guy just didn't look natural. Now, of course, the Smaug that we all know today, the 2013 Smaug, that Smaug we all know and love, that Smaug is clearly the best Smaug I have ever seen. Mainly different incarnations of Smaug, always been like a four-legged dragon. But this version of Smaug was more like a wyvern. Now let's not forget, we're having his opponent to be a puny Night Fury. Now, I know this puny Night Fury has done damage to bigger dragons, bigger than him, more stronger, more powerful than him. But we gotta think, Smaug is not the typical dragon that Toothless is used to. Now, of course, there are a few other dragons that Toothless didn't really know. Oh, he has no experience on fighting. But let's not forget, Toothless is like a 21-year-old dragon. Smaug, on the other hand, now, Smaug might have the advantage here. Because Smaug is actually hang on. He is 6.212 years old. He's an old dragon. Now, Smaug may have the advantage here because he's a lot more experienced in combat. Smaug may not just talk like a dragon, but he can also talk like a human too. And we also gotta think, Smaug is not a really big fan of humans, elves, dwarves. He's never encountered hobbits before, so I can't say he does not have a bone to pick with them. But he does have a bone with men, dwarves, and elves. I'm not sure if dragons meant the elves or not. I'm just assuming Smaug had encountered an elf before, but besides that, we know that Smaug has way more experience in combat. he's a lot more experienced, he's a lot more older, wiser. Now, if he met the dragon, if he was in How to Train Dragon, if he ever encountered Berg before, he's gonna be a little He's not gonna like the fact that humans are riding dragons. Giving them names that sound retarded, and let alone making them their slaves, sort of. And we gotta think, Smaug is also a dragon. You think that he might coexist with them, but really and truly, he's not. He's not gonna coexist with them at all. He's gonna find a way to make the dragons to join him. Because he sees Toothless as a weak alpha. He's not doing anything about it. He's much more like an overgrown child, within a way. He's acting like a child sometimes. He rarely acts like a wild animal. Smaug may find ways to convince the other dragons, saying that, hey, I'm the better alpha, but I can protect you and I can provide you anything you ever wanted. But in return, you have to leave your current alpha, because your current alpha is making you guys to be more like slaves to these humans. These humans have killed us. They used our skin for their armor. They hang our heads on their walls and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I think a few dragons will actually pledge their allegiance to Smaug, betraying Toothless. This might make Toothless a little angry, because he is the current alpha and there can't be two alpha dragons. Hey, Godzilla vs. Kong reference, there can't be two alpha kaiju, but instead, there can't be two alpha dragons. So, Toothless is pretty angry at this. Now, would Toothless do any damage to Smaug? He might do a little bit of damage, not a whole lot to affect Smaug, but a little bit. And Smaug's fire breath is pretty much known to be the most hottest fire breath of all dragons. Now, his fire breath might not just basically burn the saddle, burn the fake tail wing, but he might actually do some fair damage to Toothless. Now, all dragons are kind of immune to fire, but Smaug's fire breath is known to be the most hottest and the most powerful one. So, now, let's say Hiccup tries to reason with Smaug. What if he tries to get Smaug to listen? Smaug will not have anything to do with it, because let's say Smaug finds ways to manipulate Hiccup, basically saying that he's nothing, and he needs Toothless to make him a somebody. Okay? And basically, well, Hiccup was nobody until he encountered Toothless. And Toothless basically made him to be a somebody. Smaug might mention that Hiccup is a weak leader. He can't stand up to others. He doesn't really pick up a fight. He doesn't even stand up to himself. When it comes to, like, say, Astrid punching him all the time. Like, he doesn't even mention that to Astrid, and Smaug finds that really pathetic and weak. And of course, Hiccup will be completely affected by those words, because I think we saw in How to Train Dragon 3 that Hiccup was showing signs that he is nothing without Toothless. He can't properly be a leader to his own people. So I think that would have a huge effect on Hiccup. Now, I'm wondering, what about the little patch underneath Smaug's left side of the chest? What about that? Well, I think people say that it was a result of Smaug sleeping under a huge pile of gold and it was never really there before. So I think that area will not exist because let's say Smaug was just trying to find a good area to call home until he encountered Berg's dragons. And he's just like, hey, this island has a huge army of dragons, and I can basically have them to be part of my little kingdom when I find a place to call home. Now, I think Toothless might do some damage to Smaug, but not a lot. Possibly like enough, not fully phasing Smaug a little bit, but a little bit to stun him a little bit. Now, of course, here's where Smaug starts showing off his true power, where wings like a hurricane, tail like a thunderbolt, armor like iron, teeth like swords, claws like spears, and breath like death. This was when when all the other dragons start siding with Smaug because he's the more powerful dragon, and Toothless is having a hard time to fight back. And let's say Smaug gives Toothless one last chance to surrender, giving him a chance to join Smaug in his dragon army. And Toothless looks back at Hiccup and obviously replies in dragon language, "No, I'd rather die." And so Smaug kills Toothless. And Smaug becomes the official alpha, the new alpha of the dragons. And he commands all Berg's dragons to, well, basically kill everyone on Berg. Possibly a few people might survive, and Fled, Hiccup might most likely be one of those people to survive. And Smaug starts leading his dragon armies to different locations, different islands where people and dragons coexist with each other. Smaug tells them to, well, basically kill their owners because, well, he's a new alpha and Toothless is gone. So Smaug, being not just the greatest dragon that ever existed and king under the mountain, he's now the alpha of the dragons. He has a massive dragon army. And let's say he even ends up going to the hidden world and convincing all of those dragons to rise up and start taking back the planet that was stolen from them. Basically, Smaug wants any human that's left to rather live in fear of them or die. I'm pretty sure Smaug will leave a few humans, a few Vikings as slaves, but everyone else can rather live in fear of him and his dragon army or die. And Hiccup and the others, and whoever survived the attack, they now live in fear of Smaug because now Smaug is the alpha, not to say he's the most vicious dragon that they've ever come across. And with Toothless gone, Hiccup now feels like he's nothing. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think Smaug would have won the fight between him and Toothless? Or do you think Toothless would have won? Or do you think it could have been a tie between the two? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like, comment. Don't forget to have Gorgira. May Gorgira with excellence. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Long live the king.